I've been going on and on this entire year online saying that I think that visible makeup is coming back. And for me, one of the biggest indicators that I think visible makeup is coming back is the comeback of highlighters. And I mean highlighters as an actual product. Because even though there's been highlighters this entire time, there was a couple of years there where not a lot of brands were releasing highlighters, or when they were, it was more like a cheek dew or a glowy cream blush, not something that was an actual highlighter product meant to be seen as a highlighter, just something, you know, lit from within. And we have left lit from within, we left that back in 2022, and now we are coming back to visible, like glowy cheeks, not just with highlighters, which is what I'm going to go through in this video. I'm going to talk about the highlighter releases from this year. I'm going to show you which ones I have. I'm going to talk about the ones I don't have, and I'm also going to let you know which ones are my favorites and which one I would stay away from. And I think that like glowy cheeks, I'm wearing a very glowy cheek, I think that is making a big comeback, not just in visible like highlighter like I'm wearing today. I'm going to talk about which product I'm wearing today, but also in like glowy blushes. And I mean like glowy blush, like blush highlighter hybrids, which I really love. And that was a big thing back in, I want to say like 2017, 18. We had a bunch of products like that, and I feel like it's coming back again. I don't know if this is going to be in the correct order as they were released, but I'm going to go through some of the highlighter releases of this year. And hopefully we'll have a better understanding of all the different things that were offered this year, because there were so many highlighters this year. Okay, these are not going to be in the order as they were released. It's going to be in the order as I saved them on my phone, which is not the same thing. Okay, not the same thing. The first one I want to talk about is something that came out kind of recently, and it is this like clear, more creamy, icy highlighter by Refi. And again, I find it very interesting that we're seeing this kind of highlighter product now from a brand like Refi, because it is not just a not their balm, it's definitely like an icy sparkle kind of a product. The next is, for me, one of the biggest indicators that like highlighters as a visible makeup product is coming back, and that is, and I have it here, the re-release of the Laura Geller Baked Gelato highlighter. So this, if you were not here for the makeup hype of 2015, 16, this was one of the most hyped product of that time. It kept selling out again and again and again, and people were literally crazy about this product. Let me see if I can open it. So this is a re-release of the product, and this is not how the product looked back in the day. This is not what this product looked like. And actually, I have not used this one yet, so you'll see a swatch of it. And actually, let's cut to future Angie doing a little try on with this one, because I want to film something for sure. So let's cut to that. Well, who is back from the dead if not the Baked Gelato highlighter by Laura Geller? I never thought we would see the return of this highlighter. In the year of 2025, this one is making a comeback from the grave, but I will say, this does not look like the original one, and I am confused why we are naming it this exact same thing. This is the Baked Gelato highlighter by Laura Geller in Gilded Honey, but the original looked very different. So I own the original back in the day. Not now, because that one was old, like capital letters old. But I own the old one, and I am confused to see that we are doing a different formula but calling it the same thing. So we are going to be trying this one out, and we are going to see if this one is good or not. So I am going to dive in. Clearly a different formulation. I'm so excited. It doesn't pick up a lot on the brush. That's why I'm like trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm a little sad that they didn't change the packaging. Okay, it was more blinding back in the day, but maybe that was also like the 2015, 16 of it all. Like we were really looking for that. But I also have seen that 2025 has been the year where we have had the resurgent and the return of highlighters, and nothing says the return of highlighters like Gilded Honey coming back from the grave. I mean, that is stunning, but it is definitely nowhere near what the OG Gilded Honey was. This is a very subtle, like the Gilded Honey grew up, got a mortgage, is working 9 to 5, and has left its party days behind. That's what this highlighter is giving. Is it beautiful? Yes. Is it anywhere near the original? I would say no. It's still stunning. I'm just surprised that we didn't give this a new name when it's so different from the OG one. Let me know what you think about this. Is this the comeback that you thought you were gonna see in 2025? I find it interesting that this one is coming back now and that Laura Geller as a brand is doing a little bit of a comeback now. And I don't know exactly for what reason we are deciding to re-release the same highlighter, but not the same. Because this one is similar pattern, same obnoxious packaging. Again, we could have updated that. And the same name, Gilded Honey, which is like, to me, very confusing, because why didn't you just release a new highlighter then? If you're not going to release the exact same thing, because this is clearly different color, different formulation, which is, I mean, good. Let's update, sure, let's do that. It's been like 10 years. I think that's a good idea. But I'm surprised that we're doing the same thing and trying to have like a resurgence with it. I am excited though to try it. I just have not had time yet. Another product that came out this year is the House Labs highlighter. And I do have this one as well. This is a cream highlighter, and this one in formulation is very similar to what I have on my cheeks today. So similar that in the video where I tried this for the first time, I did even point that out. I have this one in Glassy Champagne Quartz. This one is extremely glassy and glowy on the skin, just like the one I'm wearing on my skin today, and it takes a really long time for it to dry down to something that is not sticky. I'm gonna be honest, it is beautiful, but I kind of do wish that it didn't take this long to dry down. Precisely like the one I'm wearing on my cheeks today. This one is very similar, and this is actually the new stick highlighters by NYX. I'm wearing the lavender one on my cheeks today over a lavender blush. These are very wet looking, balmy. They blend in really beautifully, and it takes a really long time for it to set. And when it sets, it still has got a little tack to it. Not like sticky, like your hair's gonna stick to it, but the first 20 minutes, yeah, your hair will stick to it. And then it dries down to something that's like a little tacky, but also it looks extremely dewy and beautiful. So I do still like it, but I also want to say that that's the formulation that these are. What I will say about these, the color selection is beautiful. Like I said, this is the lavender one. I did use a peach one in another video quite recently. They're actually like really, really stunning. And if you're looking for a result like this, I would say go with the NYX one over the House Labs one, because again, formulation is extremely similar, but price point is not. Another formulation that got reformulated this year and got re-released is the one from Dior. So I tried their liquid highlighter last year. Stunning, absolutely stunning. And I actually brought this out because they came out with one new color this year for Christmas, and it is a pink gold duochrome topper. This one is more sparkly than the peachy one I had last year, but it is really stunning. These powder highlighters are beautiful, and I think they have probably released them to make them talc free, because talc is about to be banned in the EU in makeup products. So I think that's the reason why a lot of brands are going talc free right now, because they're trying to sell their makeup in the EU. I mean, who can blame them? This formulation though is stunning, really beautiful, very expensive, but also really beautiful. I do think you can get like a great highlighter result on your cheeks without spending this much money, but at least with this product, what I can say is that like, at least you're getting a good product for the money, because sometimes you'll pay a lot of money and what you're getting is not even good. At least this one is great. Another great product that came out this year, and I have 3 of them here that survived my declutter, are the powder highlighters. So this is the powder version from NYX. These are also called the Buttermelt. So these came out earlier this year, and then they came up with the stick ones just recently. And I really think these are beautiful. And I also feel like this year we're starting to see more colored highlighters, even from mainstream brands, because these came in like more natural colors, but also came in colored. Like we have a lavender, they also released a mint one, and these Dior ones also came in colored ones. And when even like when even luxury brands is bringing out colored highlighters, I really think that colored highlighters, like I said, that is more a visible makeup product. These, beautiful. Really stunning formulation. I was not the biggest fan of the bronzers and the blushes in this buttermelt formula, but the highlighter products have been really nice. We also saw for the holiday that NARS came out with a highlighter, and MAC also came out with a highlighter. So the MAC one is a cream highlighter, again, colored highlighter, and the NARS one for holiday is seems like a baked gelée highlighter, and it seems like it also, again, is a little bit more of a frosty one, and it seems like it's leaning almost a little bit lavender. Again, even the mainstream brands are bringing out more visible highlighters in like fun colors, because we also saw from the new brand that's called God Mode, they came out this year, and one of the products that they came out with was this highlighter. It looks almost like purple here. No, you see the green, I see the purple. So this is like a purple green duochrome cream highlighter, really stunning on the skin. It has a transparent base. It comes in this, I think you can hear, it's like a metal component. This is a really stunning product, quite honestly, and again, giving that like visible fun highlighter. And it's really interesting to see now when new brands come out, because not only have we seen some of the brands that are more no makeup like Refi come out with highlighters, but also when new brands are coming out like God Mode, one of the products that they are launching with is highlighters, and also more luxury brands like Dior is also coming out with even more highlighters. Speaking of like brands are more like no makeup, Glossier also released a actual like highlighter product this year. I didn't try this one, so if you tried this one, please let me know how you felt about it. I would love to hear how you felt about this product. Another luxury brand that came out with a highlighter this year was Saint Laurent, like YSL's Yves Saint Laurent. That's what the fashion house is Saint Laurent, makeup brand is still Yves Saint Laurent. So I didn't even see this product in store. The only thing that I have seen is the palette that has the blushes and the highlighters. So I've seen that sample in store, and the highlighter formula seems fine. I did try this blush formula just like in store, like I swatched the sample, and it seemed fine enough, but not convincing enough for me to want to purchase it. But it was an interesting palette, and it was interesting to see how bonkers people were going over a face palette from a luxury brand. That was kind of intriguing to see. MAC also released a new version of their like liquid strobe creams this year. They're like coming out with like either releasing new highlighter formulas or re-releasing existing ones in newer and better formulations, which I think is really smart, because listen, highlighters from 2015, 16, 17, 18 even, we can do better today. We want something that is either has a base that is colored so it looks like a blush highlighter hybrid, which is beautiful, I love that, or something that has a transparent base. We don't want something that has it's like a metallic eyeshadow on the cheek, so it just looks like a stripe. So I think it's really smart to reformulate. Another colored highlighter that came out this year was that Fenty came out with their Diamond Bomb highlighters. And they came out with the Diamond Bomb highlighters in a few shades, one of them being the golden one that Trophy Wife came out in the sparkly diamond version. Nothing says visible makeup like a glitter highlighter. And this like lavender, it's like a periwinkle lavender duochrome sparkly highlighter. I've been really into cool tone cheeks this year, which is crazy because I used to be the queen of orange makeup. I still love orange makeup, but I've been so into like cool toned options for cheeks this year, not for eyeshadow. Get the grays away from me, but for cheeks. So I actually pounced on this lavender sparkly cheek, and I've not been looking back. I actually think it's really beautiful. Dior also did re-release actually their highlighter palettes this year as well. I swatched those in store and I was not super impressed, and I do think that these were also reformulated to make them talc free. Another thing that was released this year was what is it called? Polite Society's highlighters that looked very much like the Rare Beauty highlighters. I have not seen these in store actually. Now that I think of it, I really should head out to Ulta and swatch. Last time I was in Ulta, I did buy second shade of the NARS highlighters, but I didn't see the Polite Society ones. Have you tried those? Have you tried those? I would love to hear about it. So this is, according to me, one of the best highlighter releases of this year, one of the best releases of this year. And this is the NARS new highlighter formula. Again, it's very intriguing to see a mainstream brand that is a little bit more, they're a little bit more classic, you know, in the makeup choices that they make, that they were releasing a blinding highlighter like this in 2025. Very intriguing. This is Ulta exclusive, and that's why I went to Ulta to buy a second shade. I bought this one that is a little bit more of a rose goldy shade. It's called Heavenly. Stunning formulation, 10 out of 10 recommend. They're absolutely beautiful, and it's one of my favorite highlighters that were released this year. Definitely my favorite high-end highlighters that were released this year. Another high-end formula that was released this year is the Glow La La by Benefit. What I will say, this formulation is beautiful, but what is this? Like, you can do better than that. Like, what is this packaging? The formulation though, stunning. I have the one that's Luna, and these are like, these are described for their like skin tone. So this is called Luna Light Medium. It is beautiful. It's a really stunning highlighter, but this is a very visible highlighter. Again, this is not one of those natural glow from within highlighter. This is all of these pretty much are very visible highlighters. And I think that this for me is where I'm starting to realize that we are coming back to visible makeup, because they did have a like no makeup liquid highlighter from last year. But now this year, the really like bright and shiny and visible ones are coming instead. I decluttered this one from Makeup Forever, and the swatch I'm showing you, because I couldn't find it, it's here somewhere in my declutter pile, but the swatch I'm showing you is together with the contour and the blush as well. This was a really nice formulation, but the color was way off for me, and I swatched them in store and none of them was like really good for me. This was very icy on my skin. This is a cream highlighter in like a stick formulation, and I've been really into cream highlighters, but this one was just the wrong color for me. And even in store, when I looked at all the colors, like at Sephora, I didn't really love any of the colors in the blush or the like contour either. I just didn't think that those were like colors that I was like looking for. So this formulation was okay, but nothing else. But it was really interesting to see them come out with this release this year, even though of course it was part of a bigger release. Speaking of luxury brands coming out with highlighters, Prada came out with highlighters this year, and I swatched these in store and I was not super impressed with how they swatched. Since then, I have seen people say they bought them and they liked them, but they don't love them. Like, I love my NARS ones, and people don't seem to be as in love with the Prada ones, and I think the Prada ones are like $70. So I don't think that those are for me. And again, there is a time and a place for different formulations of highlighters, and I love switching up my cheek game, but I wasn't sold on the swatch on these. Same way I wasn't sold on the swatches of the Lancome new highlighters that came out. I swatched those in store, and they felt just like highlighters from like 2017. Very thick. They left a metallic streak on the skin. They just felt very like heavy makeup-y, and I was surprised to see a brand like Lancome release something that felt very 2017 in 2025. And this actually is, again, I do believe that like visible makeup is coming back. They could have released a really subtle highlighter. I'm just very surprised that it wasn't more like the NARS one or like the Benefit one in formulation. It just felt very old. The formulation felt old. Oh, here's something that I actually didn't like. I fetched one of these from my declutter pile. This is the Urban Decay Face Bond Luminizer, and this came in a sparkly and a glowy version, and these were just weird because they were just not super fun. They weren't impactful enough on the skin, and this was just a bad formulation. Again, I feel like Urban Decay are just 2 steps behind on everything. So when every other brand is releasing more visible highlighters, they're like, oh, here's a face luminizer you can mix into your foundation, and we're like, a little late, aren't we? This is the release that I've probably spent the most time explaining this year, and this came out in the beginning of the year, and this is Lumi highlighter sticks by L'Oreal. So these are like highlighter sticks that you twist up, and they came in 2 formulations, and on like the Ulta website, for example, these 2 formulations are in the same listing. So they're basically called Lumi Le Glace and Le Glow highlighters. Here's the thing, these are 2 different formulations. Le Glow, beautiful, subtle, not subtle, it's a very visible glow on the cheeks, but it looks creamy and glowy and just beamy without looking sticky or glassy. Le Glace does look like this, but it stays extremely sticky and tacky the entire time, and it lifts whatever you got going on under. Like, it lifts everything down to your freaking sunless tanner, because like it will lift like it's its second career. It's no joke. So when you're looking at these and you're thinking, oh, is that the one Angie loved? Yes, but I love Le Glow, the pink one, not Le Glace. Pink one is good, white one is not. Colourpop also released their liquid highlighters this year, and the ones that I have to show you here is actually the ones that they released in the Tangled collection. These are 2 of my favorite releases of this year. These were in my yearly favorites. Absolutely wonderfully beautiful liquid highlighters. And again, these are colored beaming highlighters. This is a gold to pink iridescent like topper with a transparent base, and then there is a peach to pink with a more tan peachy base. Stunning, beautiful. This one is pretty much a liquid dupe of the Hades Everybody's Got a Weakness highlighter that I was crazy over in, was that 2019 or 2020? I feel like it was 2019. That was such a beautiful formulation and a beautiful highlight. Oh, there it goes. Love these. Hello. Oh my god. It's on the floor. Absolutely love this. They did come out with a liquid highlighter in 3 of the original colors as well, and that's probably what I'm showing you here, right? I'm trying to look at my pictures that I have here. Hello. Or maybe that came out in the late 2024, but I'm pretty sure I reviewed that in 2025 at least. They had a bronze, a champagne, and a pink. And the pink one is a more glittery pink, and the other 2 are really beaming, beautiful ones. Those are great too, but these 2 colors are better. Absolutely stunning, more subtle duochrome highlighters if you want to try out a duochrome highlighter, but you don't want to go like blue, which fair. Another brand that tried releasing a highlighter this year was Patrick Ta. So they re-released their highlighters. Remember how much people hated these highlighters in 2024? I actually thought it was really interesting that he released highlighters in 2024, because in 2024 highlighters were not that popular, but the formulation that he released weren't good. So now he re-released that in a stable balm, because the balm that he released in 2024 was so goopy, it was like almost running out of here. And I will say, whatever you did with that, you were getting too much on your cheeks and it was lifting everything. This works better for me if I just dupe my finger and tap on top to just melt the powders down a bit. I do really like this one though, the like more subtle powder. It's really beautiful on the cheeks, it really is. But this isn't my favorite highlighter formulation, but at least this one is okay compared to the one he had before that just really was not good. Tarte also had a really weird highlighter release this year that was basically like a little compact that had 4 highlighters in one. And I'm just like, we're out here like releasing highlighter palettes now, which is interesting. This actually reminded me a little bit of, you remember that sleek makeup highlighter quad that everybody was absolutely crazy over? Remember that one? I felt like this one was giving me almost like a flashback to that one, because I'm like, dang, people were crazy over that sleek one. I wonder how much money the beauty gurus in 2015 were making sleek over that little highlighter palette, because that was back in the day when highlighters were becoming popular, but very few brands were offering that kind of a bright highlighter. I mean, that's what made Becca so popular. Orion Beauty also released a new range of liquid highlighters this year. I did not try those, but I do know that the original highlighters that Orion Beauty has are very, very blinding. And we also saw a cream highlighter from About Face. Again, I haven't seen this one. I really need to go to Ulta and like try this one and see what it is, because I think the colors are really beautiful. Like they have a red one, like that looks so interesting. I'm sure that would look great on deep skin, but I also wonder how that would be as like a cream blush on like my skin tone. And Also, I wonder if I have them here. Did I bring them out? No, I forgot to bring them out, but I'll show you some swatches. I bought the glowy blushes from Maybelline last year, and now this year they released that formulation in highlighters. And the blushes that they had last year were very much like a glowy, like highlighter blush hybrid, and this year they were doing just a highlighter formulation of that. This is a more sheer and liquidy formulation, so keep that in mind. I'm sure that this will actually probably be even better as a highlighter than a blush, because I know some people were saying they thought the blush were a little bit too sheer, which fair. I really like them though. I still have them in my collection. We also have these jelly, like sparkly highlighters. When I was going through these pictures, I was like, dang, I didn't try this formulation this year. And I remember thinking that I wanted to. So we have one from Makeup Revolution, and then we have one from Moira. And these look like so much fun. And I actually went into the Moira website and I did buy one of these because I would have tried this. So this is supposed to be the same kind of jelly, you know, this formulation that Milk had for the blushes. This is supposed to be the same formulation, but with a sparkly highlighter. And I am so intrigued to see what this is. And both of them are doing a more sparkly, some colors. Again, I'm telling you, visible makeup, we would have never been able to get away with like a blue sparkly highlighter in 2021. It would be like nobody was interested in that. But now, all of a sudden, people are like, maybe this is something. Also, Profusion released highlighters this year. It's called the Radiant Glow. I did not love this one. I thought it was okay. I will say with this one, the problem with this one is that it does blend away, or more probably, it kind of blends into whatever you have underneath. So it becomes a little bit like too subtle. There's something about this formulation that when you swatch it, it's so bright and beautiful, but then when you start blending it into your cheeks, it kind of just disappears, and it was kind of like uninteresting. I saw so much hype over these Clinique highlighters, and then I didn't see anyone try them. But I realized, because they released in Asia first, and then they came to North America, and I'm sure that they're in Europe too, and when I started looking for this video, I'm like, wait, did those ever release here? But they did, but I haven't seen a single person talk about these. And I don't even know where Clinique has a counter. I don't even know where that is. So I find this very interesting because I'm like, dang, they just released these and nobody talked about them. Did you hear anyone try these? Did they like them? Did they love them? Because I feel like Clinique is definitely one of those more, not maybe necessarily no makeup, but definitely more low-key makeup. So for them to release something that looks like a pretty blinding highlighter, it's definitely a sign of the times. Oh my god, the sun is setting. It's getting to be really dark here. Oopsie. So I have two more that I want to talk about, and then I'm going to talk about a couple of indie highlighters that are not new formulations, but colors that's been really good this year. So the first one that was released this year, I think this is Sarah Creole. Cereal? Am I saying that incorrectly? It's a Sephora brand, and I will say this highlighter, this is definitely a brand that is doing very much like, you know, no makeup kind of a thing, and this highlighter is definitely a little bit more low-key, so I don't think that this is necessarily following the trend at all. And also Dibs Beauty, which is a brand that's now available in Ulta, they released a bunch of products, but one of them was a highlighter stick, and it seemed to be a little bit more of a glowy highlighter stick. And I hope that this showed how, well, I forgot one more. I have the e.l.f. baked highlighters as well. This one is an announced release. This one hasn't released yet, so this one is releasing soon. It seems to be a baked highlighter, which that very much seems to be the nostalgia that nobody saw coming. I am actually shocked to see a baked highlighter being released, because I'm like, wow, that is a full circle. Full circle kind of a moment. I really hope that this showed how many more like visible, blinding, colorful, glittery highlighters were released this year, even from brands that you might not think. I also wanted to quickly talk about a couple of highlighters that were released by indie brands, where it's not necessarily a new like product launch. It's more like they're launching a highlighter within a collection. So I wanted to talk about a couple of those. One of them being the Dark Dreamscape highlighter that Bella Beauté launched. And you can see this is like a purple blue highlighter, very, very blinding. A purple highlighter that is almost a transparent base on the cheeks. This is a very, very interesting purple highlighter. 100% recommend it. They also released within the Morally Grey collection, they released a Skin of a Killer, which is like an icy, very sparkly shade, and then Morally Grey, which is more of a mauvey, cool toned highlighter. These are a little bit too icy to be perfect for me. I like a cool tone, but I don't want it to be too icy on my skin. So these weren't my favorite, but if you love an icy highlighter, those were very, very visible. They also released a Green Goddess highlighter, and this is like a warm green going to a cool green. Very, very interesting duochrome, because again, it is giving almost like a frosty mint going to like a warmer pea green. Very, again, interesting duochrome highlighter. And Unearthly Cosmetic had a collaboration with Sander, and they released Ooze. This is one of the most beautiful green, like iridescent highlighters on the skin. It is such a beautiful highlighter. I don't even know what to tell you. It's so stunning. It's like literally so beautiful. Really, really stunning. And Lethal Cosmetics had in the Conjuring collection, I really love this one. This is probably one of my favorite highlighters from indie brands that got released this year, and this one is called the Music Box highlighter, and it is a peachy gold going to a peachy pink highlighter. Very beautiful, very visible. And then in the Trapped collection, is my second favorite like indie highlighter of this year. We had the what are these called? It's the Trapped, and is the name on the inside? Yes. So we have two different colors. We have the Trapula, which is more of a almost like a purple green duochrome, very visible like colored highlighter. But my favorite is the one that is called Famished. Again, it is that peachy gold going to like a peachy pink. Absolutely stunning. Like again, those two highlighters were my favorite like indie highlighters of the year. I think those are very nice, and it was very interesting to see that many like colored highlighters again, because this truly has been a great year for highlighters. And this has been something that I've been talking about throughout this entire year, and I'm very excited to be doing this like roundup of all the different highlighter formulas that I have seen throughout the year. Of course, there's been way more formulations that have been released within collections. Like they've released like one new color of Super Shocks with the Colourpop collection, or one new other color of an indie highlighter within a collection. This was more me talking about when they released more like a new product category or a product family or like a group of highlighters, and not just one color as part of a collection. I hope that makes sense. I will try and link all of these things down below in case you're interested in any of these products, or if you want to read up more about them. I love highlighters. I love a good glowy cheek, so I've been really excited about this, and I hope we get to see even more products like this in 2026. Let me know your favorite highlighters that you've tried this year down below, and I will see you tomorrow for a new video. Bye.